Hello and welcome to my channel. Over the past few weeks and months, I've eaten at and reviewed 5 Pennsylvania Dutch smorgasbord buffets in Lancaster County. The purpose of this video today is to give a short recap and rank these 5 buffets from, I hate to say worst to best because none of them were terrible, but rank them 1 through 5 at any rate. Before I get underway with the video, I do ask, if you've not already done so, please subscribe to my channel, give a like, feel free to share, and leave a comment to help this channel grow. I'm looking for 1,000 subscribers. I'm not quite halfway there yet. The places I'll be reviewing are, in alphabetical order, the Bird in Hand Family Restaurant in Bird in Hand, Pennsylvania, Dienner's Country Restaurant in Ronks, Pennsylvania, Miller's Smorgasbord Restaurant in Ronks, Pennsylvania, the Shady Maple Smorgasbord in East Earl, Pennsylvania, and Yoder's Restaurant and Buffet in New Holland, Pennsylvania. For each of these, I am basing this on having had the lunch buffet. There will be several points to my recap and ranking that are objective. For instance, how much you paid, what's included in the buffet, the relative size, and of course, much of ranking and reviewing is subjective, which I felt had the better variety, if not greater variety, what tasted the best, the overall experience. So, here we go. In 5th place will be the Bird in Hand Family Restaurant and Smorgasbord in Bird in Hand, Pennsylvania. The price for the lunch buffet was $18.69 with the beverage included. The overall price I paid that day with tax was $19.81. That does not include the tip. Since one of the buffets, Shady Maple, already includes a 12% gratuity in their price, I'll give you what the price would be if you decided that 12% would be the tip you would leave at the other 4. In this case, your total price with the $18.69 buffet, the taxes, and the 12% tip would be $22.18. As for a recap, the buffet had a rather small selection. The worst part of this buffet was its inefficiency. There's a bottleneck in the way it's set up to get into the food line. They can't handle being really busy. Busloads come because there is a theater there. They unload the busload. If you have more than, say, 10 or so people trying to hit this buffet at the same time, you're going to have a long wait. And there aren't enough buffet stations that you could just go to a different station. You're going to stand in line with your plate every time you want to get something. As far as the quality, most of the hot items were good. They did have ribs that day that were inedible, and I just mentioned that because there are only a handful of times that, there are things I like and don't like, but there's only a handful of times I'll go to a restaurant or a buffet and there's something there that I just can't eat, and the ribs that day were that way. The salad bar items I tried, which normally I'll try coleslaw and macaroni salad. I won't have a salad at a buffet, but they were not very good. The desserts weren't terrible, but they were mostly bland and flavorless, and I will not return to the Bird in Hand Family Restaurant and Smorgasbord. Again, 5th place, Bird in Hand Family Restaurant and Smorgasbord. Fourth place and third place are a tie. Although they're quite different, there were different things that I thought were good and not so good about them. So I'll start, again, fourth and third with Yoder's Restaurant and Buffet in New Holland, Pennsylvania. The price listed on the menu for the lunch buffet is $16.49. The beverage is not included in the buffet. With the beverage, and I ordered coffee and water, which they didn't charge me for the water, but with the coffee and the tax, my total bill for that day was $19.27 plus tip. If I were to include the 12% gratuity, the total bill would come to $21.58. There is a 10% discount for people age 62 and over. There's a relatively small selection. It is a larger selection than Bird in Hand and Dienner's, but it's not really big. The hot items were fine. They were quite good, in fact. The salad bar items were not good. And again, I had coleslaw and macaroni salad. They were not very good at all. The desserts were not very good at all. I had two different puddings that had kind of an off flavor. The cakes and pies that I tried were okay, but they were kind of bland. There was a very odd shoe fly pie, almost a gelatinized bottom rather than a wet bottom. I believe in my initial review I said I might go back, and I'll just leave it at that. I might, but it certainly wouldn't be my first choice. And now that I've done all five, I also might not go back. This was Yoder's Restaurant and Buffet in New Holland, again tied fourth and third place. The other one in the tie, as I flip the page on my notes, is Miller's Smorgasbord Restaurant in Ronks, Pennsylvania. The big thing about this is the price. The menu listed price for the lunch buffet, and many of these places, all of these places actually offer lunch and dinner buffets. For Miller's, it's the same buffet all day, so you're paying the higher dinner price. Some of them offer a breakfast buffet as well. Anyway, the price I paid for the lunch buffet was $28.99. The beverage was not included. I could get an unlimited beverage, although it's not self-serve, for an additional $2.99. The price with the tax and the beverage for me, $33.90. If I were to add the 12% gratuity, it would be $37.97. This had the second largest selection of the five, mostly though, in my opinion, was not a Pennsylvania Dutch-style buffet. I called it in my initial review, and I'm sticking to it. It was kind of an upscale, overpriced Golden Corral. The hot items were fine. Nothing really bad about the food. But despite the relatively large selection as far as the number of items, there was nothing that stood out as great. It was just what you would get at a Golden Corral, or around here they're no longer exist. I don't know if they're in business anywhere, but well, I used to call it the hog trough, but like a old country buffet is what I was trying to think of. I stopped the tape for a minute rather than have me hem and haw while I'm thinking of it. Anyway, the hot items again were fine, but nothing stood out as great. The salad bar items were not bad. Again, I had the coleslaw and macaroni salad. They were better than the two previous rankings I just talked about. The desserts were tasty, but there was not much of a dessert selection. The customer service was not good at all. It's overpriced. It's pretentious. As a lone diner, I was given a terrible seat. I was the first one there in the morning, and as I was waiting for it to open, they ushered in a busload ahead of me, so that I end up having to wait, even though I took the time to go early and be first in line. I will not be back to Miller's Smorgasbord. It is right down the street from our next contestant, and I would go to my number 2 selection any day of the week before I'd go back to Miller's. Number 2 is Dienner's Country Restaurant in Ronks, Pennsylvania. Again, right down the road. You can see one place from the other, right down the road from Miller's. The menu listed price for the lunch buffet is $14.95. The beverage is not included. It is with the tax and the drink. And again, I ordered coffee and a glass of water. It was $18.66 is what I paid. If you were to leave a 12% gratuity, your total bill would be $20.89. It does, of the 5, have the smallest selection as per number of items offered, and they differ by the day of the week. So if you're going to go there, you might check online the menu to see what day you're going and what the main features are that day, in case you go on a day there's something you don't like, or if you, which I did, I wanted to try the ham loaf, which is on Tuesday, so I made sure to go on a Tuesday. Despite the small selection as far as the number of items, the hot items were top notch. They were as good as any I've had. Again, none of these buffets had a hot item line selection that were bad, but this was maybe even number 1, despite the small number of selection. The salad bar was not as good. Again, I tried my normal coleslaw macaroni salad. I wasn't terribly impressed by it. The desserts were quite good, although not a high quantity of items at this buffet. The quality is excellent. They were very efficient, despite the fact that there's a small buffet area, and by the time I got to the end of my meal, the place was packed. It was efficient. It moved along. There just wasn't a problem. I would definitely come back to Dienner's. And in first place is the Shady Maple Smorgasbord in East Earle, Pennsylvania. The price for Shady Maple is $16.99. Unlimited self-serve beverages are included. And they have quite a selection of beverages. You could have dairy, you could have milk or chocolate milk, a variety of soft drink, both Pennsylvania Dutch such as birch beer and sarsaparilla, to just regular soft drinks, iced coffee, iced tea, hot tea, mix and match as much as you want. Again, $16.99 with beverage. They do include a service fee of 12%, and they do not want you to tip. They include the tip in the price, so that 12% service fee is in lieu of tipping. The price, therefore, with the tax, all-inclusive price is $20.05. There's a 10% discount if you are between the ages of 60 and 89. If you are 90 or older, there is a 50% discount. And on Wednesdays, military get a 25% discount. That is in place of any other discounts. They have the largest selection, not only of the 5 in Lancaster County, but this is the largest buffet in the United States. The hot items are excellent. In every buffet, I would find, and you will probably find, items you like and items you don't like. But just because of the sheer number, you're not going to leave here disappointed. You're going to find something you like. There are a lot of Pennsylvania Dutch items that you do find on some of the other buffets, but some that you don't find. For instance, occasionally they'll have pig stomach, they'll have schnitz and nepp, things you don't see on other buffets. The hot items, therefore, are excellent. The salad bar is fine. I love their coleslaw. Their macaroni salad is decent. The dessert is top notch. It's the dessert bar, as far as the selection and quality, is the best by far of the five. And again, a huge self-serve beverage selection. The other four are based, I will admit, on one visit. Shady Maple, over the last 30 some years that they've been open, I've been there many, many times, and I will continue to go back many, many times. This is my recap, and ranking of the 5 buffet smorgasbords, supposedly Pennsylvania Dutch. I thought 4 of the 5 were in fact Pennsylvania Dutch, that are in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Please, if I've missed any, let me know and I'll give them a try at some point. Secondly, if you are familiar with any or all of these, feel free in the comments to let me know what you think. As far as quality, that is very subjective. That is simply my opinion. You may have a different opinion. I would be glad to hear it in the comments. And once again, I ask you to like my channel, my page, if you have not already done so. Please subscribe and give a like again, and share this video. I will put the links to my initial reviews in the description of this video. I urge you to watch each of the reviews and then watch this video again and see what you think. Thank you for watching.